Welcome to Ask and Learn.
How to choose without having a total utility table? Well, there are two things I want to touch on. The first is that we use utilities to model behavior, but a consumer does not need to see an actual table. They do these just by acting like humans, right? So, how does it work? Well, let's say we have apples and oranges. I start to consume apples because I like apples more than oranges. But the more apples I consume, eventually I'm going to say, I'm tired of apples. It would be nice to have an orange. Therefore, I would buy the orange instead of the apple. So we do this, and at that point is when you start to see where the marginal utility of consuming the apple per dollar is going to be equal to the marginal utility of having the orange per dollar. And that's the second thing I want to touch on. We choose based on margins, not totals. Having a total utility table doesn't do much because, again, as consumers, we're choosing on the margin. Is that extra apple or the utility I get from that extra apple that I buy going to be greater than the utility I'm going to get from buying that extra orange? So a consumer does not need a total utility table. One, they'll do this instinctively, and two, we're talking about margins, not total utilities.